It's been a year and a month ever since I started making these Islam polemic videos, and let's just start from here. Polemics is basically a systemic attack on a particular worldview. In this case, we're attacking Islam. Now, over this period of time, Marx have had mixed views, feelings, and questions over why exactly I'm doing this, and well, this is perfectly fine if you ask me. However, one interesting question I was asked by one Mark the other day was how he too could start Islamic polemics, especially since how most of his close friends are Muslims. Firstly, I think this is pretty cool. I think Marx should be free and open enough to respectfully share views and ideas. However, when it comes into actually doing this is the best response I can give. Don't. Just don't. Well, do but don't, which basically means it depends. Here's the truth. It's really, really, really unwise for you to go and attack a particular worldview, even if it's Islam, and this is a huge if you don't know how to defend Christianity. In fact, don't go attacking any worldview if you cannot begin to defend your own. Trust me, it gets really, really bad quickly. But since we're still on the topic, let's look into what the Bible says about this. 1 Peter 3:15 says, always be ready to give a logical defense towards what it is you believe in. Basically, be ready to give a logical defense towards Christianity. Something pretty cool is that the word defense in this case comes from the root word apologia, where we get the word apologetics from. Apologetics is basically a systemic defense that one has towards a particular set of ideas or beliefs. Now, over this period of making these videos, one thing I quickly picked up about Islam is that it responds to attacks to it by lies, backed up by more lies, backed up by logical fallacies, backed up by more lies. For instance, right now, if you were to go to a Muslim and tell them about Muhammad being 54 years old and having sex with Aisha when she was 9, the typical response most Muslim mugs are taught to have will firstly be lie. It will look like something like, well, this was normal back in Muhammad's day. I made a video debunking this lie. It wasn't. When this doesn't ultimately work, they then move on into logical fallacies. Basically, they'll be responding to your attacks and accusations by bringing up unrelated topics. It will look something like this. We bring back the same accusation of Muhammad being 54 and Aisha being 9. The first thing they might do is attack Christianity by a lie. It will look something like, well, Joseph was 90 years old when he married Mary, who was 12 years old. That is a typical example of a red herring. Basically bringing up points that are unrelated to the point at hand and don't answer anything. Apart from that, this is just a plain out lie. Joseph didn't marry Mary when she was 12, and again, I made a video tackling this lie. At this point, if you can show how this was a lie, the next response will be name calling. We bring up the same accusation of Muhammad being 54, Aisha being 9. The typical response will be, well, you're just Islamophobic, which is both a lie and an ad hominem, basically name calling instead of tackling the issue at hand. If this ultimately fails, the last thing that we'll just do will be insults. I've had this happen to me on multiple occasions. So what I'm ultimately trying to say is, you want to make Islamic polemic videos, you want to share your faith, I think this is pretty cool and dope. Please do so, but, and this is a huge but, be ready to defend Christianity. Muslims, atheists, other religions, Marx will come with oppositions why Christianity cannot be true or cannot be the full truth. And so Christians need to have basic apologetic skills. The final thing that is brought to me, and my goodness, I really love this one, is, well, you know that you're only Christian because of the family you are born in. So how do you know what it is you believe in is the right thing? I mean, if you were born in another country, you most likely would conform to whatever is the most popular view in that region. Now, I'm gonna be honest, that is a pretty intelligent question. And there are two ways we can go about answering this. Option one, which is the easy way out, will just be reverse the same statement on whomever is challenging you and see how they'll respond to the same accusation. But now we don't really like the easy way out now, do we? We go to option two. We look into the accusation. Firstly, for the first couple of years of my life, yes, 100%. I was Christian, and most of us were Christian because we grew up in Christian countries or we grew up in Christian homes. But honestly, if you're watching this video right now and the only reason why you're Christian is because of where you grew up, heck, if you're of any religion, if you're in that religion and if you're only in that religion because that's where you grew up, well, you might need some self-reflection. So this is a pretty cool conversation to have. Why are you Christian? The answer to this is really simple and most times is really anticlimactic. The best answer to this question has to be objective and not subjective. This means that regardless of whom you're talking to, this answer has to work. It's easy for me to say that I'm Christian because I encountered God at my lowest moment of my life. Many people have used this line, and I'll be honest, whether or not this is true, it is a subjective truth and not an objective truth. Think about it. I've heard many Muslims say that they failed to encounter God. Pentecostals will use this language on almost every Sunday. Heck, even schizophrenic people also encounter or feel things. This means that saying that you felt God or encountered God, whilst might work in a particular audience, whether or not it is true, at the end of the day, this is just subjective. It's all happening in your mind, and only you can know what it is that you felt. Remember, I said the answer to this is simple and most times is really anticlimactic, but it has to be an objective truth. And the answer to this can be found in the Bible. 1 Corinthians 15:12-19, in verse 14, and if Christ is not risen, then our preaching is empty and our faith is also empty. In 17, if Christ is not risen, your faith is futile. Simple. The objective truth, the objective reason why I'm Christian is in the name itself, Christian. And to expand on that, there's significant historical, cultural, biblical, and medical evidence that there once lived a man named Jesus Christ that was born, lived, taught, died through crucifixion, and resurrected. There's significant evidence for Christ, and that is why I'm Christian, and not whatever I might have subjectively claimed to have experienced. Whether or not it's true, it's just that, subjective. You want to prove Christianity as false? Don't talk about Constantine, the Crusaders, or whatever weird things you might have seen on the internet, TikTok. The Bible shows you how to prove Christianity as false. Prove Jesus and his teachings as false, and there you go, Christianity is false. Like I said, we need objective facts behind beliefs, and the answer to this is really simple and most times is anticlimactic. But hey, until otherwise, that's why I stand on Christianity. I'll probably make other videos looking into some of the evidence towards this, and well, for now, we'll go back to the mag who wants to start Islamic polemics. I think it's really cool. Go out and share your faith, but just remember to actually know and have a relationship about the God you intend to talk about. And remember, always be ready to give a defense towards Christianity. When you have that in the bag, it will be easy for you to call Satan, I mean Allah. It will be easy for you to call Allah and Muhammad the world's biggest scumbags. Right. Peace.